Let's learn to differentiate between the temporary and the permanent. Everything that's temporary is being created by something permanent. Nothing that's temporary has any life of its own. In fact, everything that's temporary is not alive by definition. So what's permanent can be perceived from within. What's temporary gets perceived by the senses. So all information coming from the senses are by definition temporary, and therefore they're not alive in and of themselves. They're meant to complement life, to enhance life, to beautify life. But they're not alive of themselves. Even the senses themselves, the body, is not alive. The one that dwells within it is alive and gives the body life, animates and controls the life forces that come together to create your experience. So what's permanent are all the realities that exist in the world of concept. And what's temporary is how those concepts manifest into the physical realm and create the human experience. The forces themselves are permanent. Their actions and interactions upon this planet is temporary. Everything temporary is getting life from the permanent, which means everything we perceive is receiving life from somewhere we cannot perceive. Because what's permanent cannot be perceived by the senses themselves are not permanent. But the life force that dwells within has many different facets, aspects that we can perceive. Some of them permanent, and some of them are temporary. But all temporary creations of the permanent one are teaching us about the potential of this permanent one. So then we can create the temporary experiences in accordance with the desire of that permanent one. That permanent one is somehow very intimately connected to all the impermanent things that he creates. So all movement that's happening within the world is temporary. Movement by definition is temporary, but movement is demonstrating a potential that's permanent. Movement is demonstrating that there is a force, there is a power, there's a possibility for this movement to happen. This movement can be emotional, or intellectual, or vibrational. At the source level where the spirit interacts with matter. But the spirit itself, in its own nature, it doesn't move and it cannot move. Because it lives in its permanent potential. Everything that is in its potential is permanently in its potential. And therefore, the spirit itself is permanent. And all its manifestations, all the temporary things that it creates, are teaching us about this potential, about the power of this potential and its different possibilities. So now we want to learn how to build our life, build our identity, build our source of safety and security in the permanent. Because that's our home, that's the only place where we're going to feel safe. Any identity invested in the temporary is going to cause us to feel eventually like we are being annihilated. Because the temporary must be annihilated. The temporary was designed to be annihilated. It wasn't real in the first place. It was real as a dress for the spirit, but it was not real as an identity for the spirit. The spirit is above and beyond it, infinitely more than anything it's ever dressed up as. Dwelling in the permanent means that your heart can rest. Your heart, which is where you inscribe the beliefs that identify who you are, and then based on those beliefs, your heart reacts to every event, to every sound, to every thought. It reacts through emotion. And so when the heart understands and realizes and feels its own identity in the permanent, then it can rest. Until then, it cannot rest. It cannot rest because it's being threatened by the unavoidable annihilation that awaits it. When the heart is at rest, then it can open to the spirit. When the heart is open to the spirit, all desires are fulfilled instantly, because the one who is running the body remembers who he is running it for. And when he remembers who he's running it for, he runs it very efficiently. When he's distracted, then there's pressure in different areas, different nerves, different organs are not fully receiving life. And then there's lack of balance. Lack of balance appears in our perception as discomfort. Discomfort causes our mind to start searching for the cause of the discomfort, trying to take control of the situation, which it doesn't understand. And in the meantime, our heart has lost its partner. And it no longer feels safe. And it can no longer rest. So we want to return our heart to its real identity so that it recognizes that the one that dwells within it is a spark of the permanent light of existence that fills and surrounds everything that exists. This light of existence doesn't simply contain existence. It contains the potential for all flavors of existence, for all possible dimensions of existence, for all levels of control and access that there are available within existence. So this spark of life, this potential for existence that's inherent in every human soul, has access to all possibilities and potentials of existence. This is its nature. This can never be taken away from it. And this will eventually be realized by it when it matures, whether in this lifetime or whenever the inevitable is going to take place. Because this is the nature of this light. It shines with greater and greater intelligence until it realizes itself. This process has been filled with obstacles by the way humanity is interacting with life in our current state of evolution. But nevertheless, the nature of the human species is more powerful than any cultures that might stand in its way. The nature will eventually win this struggle. And in many of us, nature is already winning the struggle. Now this light, this potential, this spiritual power that is meant and designed to be in charge of its own destiny, because it intrinsically knows what it is meant to be and what it is meant to do. So this light, this intelligence will realize itself. There's no one that can stop it. However, on the individual level, we can assist this potential of intelligence to realize itself within us, or we can create obstacles and distractions and prolong the process. And so the light is permanent. It's the permanent light. It's what you always were and always will be. It's what your father was, and your grandfather, and everybody before them, and after you. All of them are the same thing. This thing that no one knows and no one can know, but many have tried to describe. Each seeing just one flash, just one potential interpretation of what this being can be. And so this permanent light is your identity. And all the temporary information coming in through the senses can become distractions. They weren't designed to be distractions. They were designed to enhance the experience of the one that's permanent. But currently, they can very easily turn into distractions from the permanent. And these distractions affect us biologically in a very deep and real way. Our heart responds to whatever we believe we are. And it knows what we believe, because it is the one doing the believing. And so if we believe in the obstacles, if we believe in the distractions, then our heart responds to them as if they're real. And then we give them life, even though they don't help us. They restrict our light. They use our light to block our light. Because the light of existence is everywhere. It's everything. Every existence is light. But not every existence feels like light, because that existence itself is covering its own light. It's not realizing the wonder, it's not realizing the unbelievable reality that's unfolding right inside of it. So that darkness makes the world look mundane. That darkness is the source of boredom that causes people to find excitement and things that are not healthy. When the heart will believe in the permanent nature of the spirit that dwells within it, then she can return to feeling at home, in her home, in herself, in the cells that create her. Then the spirit and the heart can unite in peace. And that peace is the doorway into reality, to be able to appreciate what is actually happening while it's happening. And from there come forth all the blessings. Everything we can possibly want is there, available to the one who fully dwells within their own heart.